Welcome to Imagine Jesus. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and controversial topic, the letter from Pontius Pilate to Emperor Caesar, in which he allegedly speaks about the crucifixion of Jesus. Is this letter a historical fact or simply a legend that arose during the early Christian centuries? In today's episode, we'll explore the content of this supposed letter, discuss its credibility, and consider its impact on our understanding of the crucifixion of Jesus. If you're interested in Christian history and the events surrounding Jesus, stay with us until the end. Pilate's letter is a document that is said to have been written by the Roman governor Pontius Pilate after the crucifixion of Jesus. According to the account, Pilate wrote to the Roman Emperor Tiberius Caesar, describing Jesus as an extraordinary figure. The letter portrays Jesus as possessing divine qualities and expresses Pilate's surprise at his innocence and the circumstances that led to his crucifixion under public pressure. But is this letter real, or is it a Christian legend? Let's look into its content. The content of the document. The document begins with what resembles an official report addressed to the Roman Emperor Tiberius. Pilate, in the beginning, indicates the difficult situation he was put in due to Jesus and the Jewish groups who were demanding his death. Pilate begins the document by saying, "To His Majesty Emperor Tiberius, I write to you with a trembling hand, for I feel as if I am at the heart of a great storm that began with the words of this man called Jesus of Nazareth." In this paragraph, it can be noticed that Pilate was hesitant from the start to get involved in Jesus' trial, as he refers to the feelings of anxiety and confusion that took over him when Jesus appeared on the scene. That Pilate begins describing Jesus. The document focuses intensively on the personal description of Jesus, where Pilate portrays him as an exceptional person, incomparable to any other human being. Pilate says in one of the paragraphs, "He was not like any man I had met before. He walked among people with dignity and peace, and wherever he went, he brought tranquility to souls. His hair was long, cascading over his shoulders, and his eyes held an indescribable light, as if he could see what no one else could." The document continues to note that Jesus remained calm and composed, even during the most challenging moments when he was being interrogated before Pilate. Pilate adds, "His face was radiant at all times, and he spoke with a soft voice filled with wisdom. I could not see in him any trace of deceit or evil as the Jewish leaders claimed." The document also mentions the events leading to the trial. It details how Jesus was presented to Pilate by the Jewish leaders and how they insisted that he be punished for blasphemy, claiming that he declared himself to be divine and incited unrest among the people. However, as the document indicates, Pilate found no charge in Jesus that warranted a death sentence. Pilate states in the document, "They brought me a man whom they said was causing chaos and claimed to be the king of the Jews, but when I interrogated him, I found nothing in his words to justify these accusations. He spoke of a kingdom not of this world, and I saw no desire in him for rebellion or violence." Pilate refers to his hesitation in condemning Jesus, as he was not convinced that Jesus posed any political threat to the Romans. He says, "I found no reason to crucify him. He spoke of peace and love among people, but they wanted his head at any cost." One of the highlighted points in the document is Pilate's attempts to save Jesus from death. The document clarifies that Pilate felt distressed by the pressure exerted on him by the Jewish leaders and the crowds. He says, "I repeatedly tried to release him. I suggested that they free him as part of the annual pardon, but they refused and chose to release the criminal Barabbas instead of this innocent man." In this excerpt, Pilate expresses his frustration and feeling of helplessness, showing that he did not want to execute the sentence on Jesus but was forced to do so due to the pressure from the Jewish leaders and the agitated crowd. The last part of the document focuses on describing the mysterious and extraordinary events that occurred during the crucifixion of Jews. It is mentioned that Pilate was hesitant until the last moment to carry out the sentence, but he ultimately gave in to the pressure and washed his hands before the crowd to declare his innocence of Jesus' blood. Pilate says, "I washed my hands before them all and said, I am innocent of the blood of this man. See to it yourselves." but I could not shake the feeling that I was witnessing something greater than I could comprehend. The sky turned to utter darkness at that moment, and the earth trembled as if it was mourning his death. The document refers to the supernatural events that accompanied Jesus' death, such as the darkness that covered the land and the earthquake that occurred. These events align with the biblical accounts in the Gospels. Pilate concludes the document by saying, "I feel deep regret, as if I had been an instrument in the hands of fate to execute something I do not fully understand." This man was innocent, and perhaps he truly was, as he said, the Son of God. In the conclusion of the document, Pilate expresses a sense of guilt and recognition that he may have made a grave mistake, realizing too late that Jesus was a unique and extraordinary figure. This confession marks a dramatic end to the document, which portrays the internal conflict Pilate experienced during this critical period. But the big question here is this letter authentic? There are no confirmed historical documents proving the existence of such a letter during Pilate's time. Many historians believe the letter is a later creation, emerging in early Christian literature to reinforce the narrative of the crucifixion and depict Pilate as someone who tried to protect Jesus. It's possible that the letter was created to shift some of the blame away from the Romans for Jesus' death and instead place the responsibility on Jewish religious leaders. Roman historians such as Tacitus and Suetonius don't mention this letter, which raises further doubts about its authenticity. Despite its questionable authenticity, the letter holds significant value in Christian tradition. Many believers view it as a testimony to Jesus' innocence and a confirmation of his divine nature. The letter also played a role in improving Pilate's image in Christian history, sometimes portraying him as sympathetic to Jesus, but pressured by political and religious forces to make the fatal decision. In the end, whether Pilate's letter to Caesar is a genuine historical account or a symbolic Christian text, it remains an important part of early Christian literature that has shaped our understanding of the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion. Do you think this letter could be real, or do you see it as a legend? Leave your thoughts in the comments and let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more topics about the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.